Mind if we mic you up?
Yeah.
Here.
Sure, of course I mind. Well, if you mic me up, then you're going to hear what I say, right?
That's probably true.
I can say something that could be career-ending, right?
You can say whatever you want right now. These aren't on.
How are you guys? Okay.
Get in the car.
There are two of us in here. How's that work?
Well, we can put them, like Mitt Romney's dog.
You know, that's a great idea. Hey, Chip, we're thinking about strapping you on top here. You could be like Mitt's dog.
You have done this before.
Thanks for reminding me.
Have you learned something about how to manage your day out on the trail that is making it a little bit easier this time?
I mean, there's no shortcut to the hard work that's involved. And I do think that a lot of people come at this like the hare rather than the tortoise, and they don't understand this is long ball. You win because you build structure and organization in the early states, and you build an ever-growing team of people who are going to go vote for you. That's how you win. So we're going to be right here in the restaurant, huh?
Yes, sir.
Mike Huckabee, nice to see you.
Good to see you too, sir.
We've got a very special guest with us, Governor Mike Huckabee, former governor of the great state of Arkansas and current presidential candidate. How does a President Huckabee deal with fanatical Islam and the terrorist abroad?
Well, the first thing you do is actually call it by its name. What you just did, what I do every day. You can't defeat an enemy if you won't identify them. We're going to have to understand that we have to defeat them, treat them like we would treat a rattlesnake in South Arkansas, which means that you don't go pet it, you don't feed it, you don't try to talk to it, and frankly, you don't care why it wants to bite you. You get a .410 shotgun, or you get a hoe from the barn, and you take the head of that snake off before it bites you. That's how it has to happen.
Appreciate your willingness to serve and appreciate you dropping by. Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Very
so
well done.
much.
Very well done.
So are you a Dylan guy?
I like Dylan, but I like Springsteen better.
Yeah, do you?
I'm
Okay.
kind of a junkie for Bruce. I've gone all
Yeah,
over the place to see
I
him
mean,
play.
I like Bob Dylan. I mean, he's had a great influence, but Bob Dylan never understood himself why he was so popular. And I think it was almost like this enigma. I listen to some of his music and I'm thinking, that's really good. And then others I'm thinking, that's a guy, it's sort of like when someone looks at an abstract painting and they try to sound intellectual by saying, oh, that's deep, that's really deep. And I sometimes think people hear a Dylan song and they say, oh, that's deep, that's deep. And I think, no, it's not. There's nothing deep about it. It's just a song.
So how do you handle Trump on the debate stage, though? I mean, that's all.
We'll all find out August the 6th. I mean, the real question is, does he come in and play by the rules, or does he believe that it's his show and we're props? And I think then there's two things. One, do the moderators of the debate take charge and realize that they've got to enforce their rules, and if they don't, then those of us who are on that stage, all of us fighting for our lives, then we have to step up and show that we're not there to just watch a
I think the first
a
person
show.
to tell him to shut up. I do.
Well, there's a lot. He's resonating with a lot of people
He's
because
a nerd.
yeah, right. And I understand that people are angry, but at some point there's a certain element, and he's not the only candidate that's appealing to almost the element that says, I don't want someone to go govern. I want him to go burn it down. And I'm thinking, well, look, we're all angry, but think through that. That's not a very thoughtful, mature approach. Great to see you. Enjoyed it very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
On a typical day, do you get time to yourself to pray, to reflect?
I mean, I get up early every morning, even if I can't remember the last time the clock woke me up, although I set 2 alarms every day just to make sure. It's almost like a ritual, but a very unnecessary one. I wake up somewhere between 4:30 and 5 o'clock.
Are you one of those people that doesn't need a lot of sleep?
I don't get a lot of sleep. I haven't since I was like 14, 4 or 5 hours tops. How are you guys? What's your name? Mike Huckabee, nice to meet you. How you doing? Mike Huckabee.
How you doing?
Great, good to see you, man. Well, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to visit with you. I don't want you to think that, gosh, I'm some kid in Florence, South Carolina. My family's not important. They're not rich. My folks hadn't been to college. I have no hope, no future. Do not ever, listen to me today, please. Do not ever let somebody tell you what you cannot do. Don't ever let someone tell you that you are stuck where you're started, because if I'd believed that when I was a kid, I certainly wouldn't be standing in front of you here today.
What are some ideals or viewpoints that made you become a Republican?
I became a Republican out of a family that had never seen one. And the question, why did I become a Republican? Because I believe that I didn't want to spend the rest of my life poor. I wanted to be judged by my own work and character, not just because of the neighborhood in which I grew up and the people I grew up with. Thank you guys very much. Great to be with you. How you doing? Nice to see y'all. Thank you.
Great job.
Oh, thanks. Yes,
You're
sir.
up against a demon.
Many of them, I think, right?
His name is Donald.
Oh. Well, we got a long road ahead of us. One of the problems that I've had with Obamacare is when the federal government puts mandates on what all of us have to have, we end up with some pretty silly things. I'm a 59-year-old male. I have maternity benefits. I want you to think about that. Not my wife. That'd be almost silly too. I have maternity benefits. I'm a 59-year-old male. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get pregnant. But I'm pretty sure that if I do, I can get a reality show and I will more than be able to accomplish the birth of the child.
I've got a mint sticker on my car. I'm going to go put this over the top of it.
I got an email from a friend of mine today, and he was all nervous. You know, gee, look at some of these candidates are getting all the attention, and you know, it's so many candidates out there. How do you break out of it? And he was almost like panicked that you know, things were not just blowing up. And I'm thinking, let me explain something. This is July. We're a long way. Because I've done this before, I understand that you don't win by how many headlines you get in July the year before.
What do you like about Huckabee in particular?
Well, I like he's a good Christian person, and that's one of the main things. Of course, I miss him on TV too.
No, I think Huckabee's a genuine man. I think what you see is what you get. I think we need more of that in politics.
I read all 159 pages of the proposal, and folks, the only way it works is if you trust both President Obama and the Iranian government. I don't trust either. There is no explanation for America apart from the providence of God. There is simply no explanation for this country apart from that. You want anything to drink, Bill?
I've got something. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I think there's a chance that all that JM-15 stuff's going to end up in a martial law against our country.
I do not think that that's a very real possibility. And I've talked to people in Texas, talked to the governor there, and I know that the internet is just blowing up with all sorts of stories of everything from tunnels under Walmart stores. But there's no credible evidence to suggest that the government honestly believes that in the summer of 2015 they can tunnel under enough Walmart stores to create martial law in the most heavily armed states in America. I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, do it in Connecticut where nobody's armed. For gosh sake, the dumbest place in America to do it would be Texas, where everybody has a firearm.
You know, I'm originally from Dallas, and I got my first gun when I was 4 years old. It was a BB gun. My first shotgun when I was 6.
You beat me, Bill. I got my first BB gun at 5, and a pellet gun at 7, 22 at 9, and I think my first shotgun at 10.
Well, no offense. We always said that those people up in Arkansas were slow.
You know, I'm not a person who has doubted God. It's been such a profound part of my life that I would more likely doubt the existence of clouds. I've never touched a cloud. I've even flown through them, but I can't say I've put my hands on them and felt them. I can say that God is much more real to me than the clouds or anything else.
Well, thanks for letting us ride along.
Well, Scott, I hope
Appreciate it.
it's
Yeah.
given you what you needed today.